So this is Phanganist.com, and I'm very happy to introduce DJ Goo, who is in Bangkok. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much. How
are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. And yourself?
I'm good. I see you're in the music studio. Is this yours?
Yeah, it's my home studio, my tiny private home studio, where a lot of bad things and good things happen.
Yeah, nice. So you've been DJing for many years, DJ Goo. I actually want to begin with, because we're on Koh Phangan, and for the Fullmoon party, there's now drum and bass at the party when the party is usually on. So I hear that you were one of the sort of instigators of bringing drum and bass here to Koh Phangan. So let's just begin with this story of bringing drum and bass to Koh Phangan.
Okay, well, I wouldn't say that I was like the very first person to bring drum and bass to Koh Phangan. I actually went to Koh Phangan in 2003 as a visitor when I was in uni. And then I found out that, I was interested in drum and bass back then from my high school. And then I found out that there was drum and bass in Koh Phangan. So right after I graduated, I just brought my record bags full of hopes and energy down to Koh Phangan and asked to play in one of the club there. It was back in 2004.
And was it DJ Smith who was already here then?
Back then, there was this a club called Orchid Club, where the owners, he always played drum and bass, those kind of UK music. And yeah, that's how I found out about drum and bass on Koh Phangan and Fullmoon party. And it got me back a couple more times before I get back there to DJ.
Oh, great. And when did you first hear drum and bass? And tell us about your story of the beginning, you know?
Okay, so I was in New Zealand for my high school. So it was like 16 years old. And then I have another Thai friend who's like, okay, there's this English DJ playing this kind of music, which you should go check it out. And I was 16 back then, you know, I went to the club. I wasn't intoxicated, didn't drink anything, you know, as the law didn't permit. But I ended up dancing from 10 p.m. to 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. straight. You know, just like natural high on a subwoofer. And then at that moment, I felt that drum and bass was for me. So in the dark place, this loud noise and this pumping bass line. Yeah, I think that's how I got hooked into it, and I just couldn't leave it since.
That's great. And was it at the same time that you decided you'd like to try DJing, or was it slightly after this?
So after my high school, I came back to Thailand for my uni. And back then, there was only one group playing drum and bass, which was DJ Dragon in home-based communication. And I love drum and bass so much that I want to hear more. I want people to hear more about drum and bass. So if there's only one group, why don't I DJ myself? So I started DJ from there. Maybe 2002 or 3. You know, I came back to Thailand in 1998, and probably around 2003 when I started, you know, DJing in house party within friends and that. Okay. And so after that, then I went to Koh Phangan and started something more serious about DJing.
Nice. And was there a drum and bass scene in Thailand or like in Bangkok when you began to DJ, or was it just emerging, or was there nothing?
Well, as I mentioned, I came back and there was only one group of, you know, DJ collectives who were doing drum and bass. And yeah, I would say it was minimal back then. And I think it grew over the years.
And what is the scene like at the moment, ignoring COVID?
You mean the drum and bass scene in general?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'd be the best person to describe it, since I kind of like shelter away doing my own stuff and not really go out and, you know, expose myself much. But I would say that there are some other prominent groups and people who are still pushing the scene forward. But I wouldn't say that it is growing in you know, in a very exponential ways, and that Thailand is it's not really a club scene country. So, but people who are in the club scene, they're very in for it. So, you know, things get pushed forward by a handful of people.
I was speaking to, do you know DJ Orawan?
Yes.
I spoke to her yesterday, and I was a massive drum and bass head, and
yes.
it's always managed to be, even though it's grown more commercial now, it still remains the underdog of the scenes, doesn't it?
I would totally agree with that, because you know, as drum and bass, my dad described it as a music where you put a rock into a bucket and roll it down the hill. I think that's kind of describe how other people in Thailand see drum and bass. And it could be a little bit challenging for you to get into it, but you see, I think it happens with everyone around the world. Once you're into it, it's hard to get out because it's just so special.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't listen to the drum and bass I used to listen to when I was 20 in Bristol, in England. But now I think as you move with age, like now I listen to Liquid because I still appreciate the offbeat, but something a bit more older and wiser.
Right.
Do you find what's your kind of style of drum and bass? Has it evolved with you as well?
I would say I got influenced a lot from playing in Koh Phangan. You know how the scene there is like open bar, and you try to attract people with your music. So that somehow shaped my music. It's a sound a little bit more commercial, but still in a drum and bass spectrum.
And do you produce music as well?
Yes, I actually started producing my own tunes recently. I've been making some remixes for my friend previously, but now I'm working on my own projects, producing mainly drum and bass music for my debut album. Yes,
so I want to talk about the night that you are doing on Saturday the 12th, because you're going to play an exclusive track. Is that correct?
Yes, I actually released 2 singles already in July, and I have one more remix which I'm going to be playing for the first time in this event.
Can you tell us about this event? This is with DJ Vivian as well.
Yes, so we throw a monthly event at Jam, that's near BTS Surasat, and we do it every second Saturday of the month from 9 p.m. And so this is actually our first event after the COVID situation. So finger crossed, let's see how it goes. And yeah, so if you if you long for some bass line and hard-hitting drums, we're always there for you every second Saturday at Jam.
And the Jam sounds like a really creative space to have these events.
It's a unique place. It is a unique place. Well, there might not be like a proper club, but there are things that will get you coming back there once you get there.
DJ Goo, you also won the Smyrnov Ten campaign. Can you tell us about this?
Well, I have a very long story about it, but I'll cut it short. So, back then in 2007, there was this global campaign by Smyrnov where they get like 10 people from all over the world and then kind of go travel together, partying and doing some kind of like blogging, photo stream and short videos. So we get a chance to go around 30 cities, 5 continents, maybe around 20 countries for the course of 1 year. So yeah, that was back in 2007, and somehow I was chosen as a Thai representative out of whatever reason. And I would say it was like one of a kind experience. You get to experience a lot of things. I get to DJ in places I never thought I could have. Brazil, Australia, England, stuff, and it kind of contributed to my experience of DJing, and I think I pick a lot of that experience into my production and that also.
Was it just drum and bass DJs, or was it DJs from all different genres?
No, actually it wasn't exclusively for DJ. It was, as mentioned, for like 10 young professionals from all around the world. We had like directors, we have artists, we have online bloggers, but I represented Thailand, but I happened to be a DJ at that point.
Yeah.
So that was what I did. I just DJ on my way around.
What a great experience.
Definitely. The only bad thing about it that it had to end.
So what are your projects that you're working on for the rest of the year, and what do you want to achieve the next couple of years?
So basically, I'm working on my album, which I mentioned previously. It's going to be mainly drum and bass, let's say like 80%. And I try to incorporate a lot of Thai elements into it in terms of like maybe Thai vocals, Thai instruments, and I try to introduce some kind of Thai vibe into drum and bass. There are some producers in the past, but there are no one really to be called like a Thai drum and bass producer. But I want to be, I want to keep doing it until I have drum and bass written on my forehead.
That's great. I think it's fantastic to bring the Thai elements in. There's a lot of any genre of music that brings some cultural with beautiful instruments. It's amazing. So DJ Goo, any last words for your fans out there that you want to share?
Well, if you haven't checked my page or my stuff out, I have a Facebook page. It's called DJ Goo Jiving Tribe Drum and Bass Thailand. It's DJ Goo Jiving Tribe DNB Thailand. And we also have a page for our own group called Jiving Tribe, which we have been doing drum and bass event for past 16 years. So you can also check us out there. And also, hopefully, maybe I'll leave a link that you guys can check out my singles and maybe for my future releases. And yeah, if you haven't become a fan yet, please, just have a listen and decide for yourself. Drum and bass is more fun and more accessible, easier than you think.
Thank you so much, Koh Phangan.
Thank you so much for your time and interest today. I hope to see you very soon.
Please come to Koh Phangan, and big thanks from Phanganist.com.
I would love to.